Be strong.
Howdy everyone, welcome back to JimKiDo. I'm Jim. Wanted to take a quick moment and kind of go over a relative basic concept within space engineers that is simplistically referred to as Newtonian Physics. In reality, it's considered Newtonian laws, but it's part of what is referred to as classical mechanics of physics. Now, there's a number of other laws that are in play that are also kind of attributed, but the three basic pieces that are involved come down to, so in the case of the first law, let's take a piece here. Actually, let's just go grab a new piece. There we go. All right, we're just going to grab one of these. That'll do. Right now, we are still under the influence of artificial gravity, but now we're not. If I take this, now you can eject something from your inventory by going to the start menu, bringing up your overall inventory panel, go to the item in question, and then hit your menu button on the controller. So here we have an object. We haven't placed a force on it, we just dumped it out of our inventory. It doesn't have any relativistic momentum. So this is essentially the first Newtonian law. That an object at rest will stay at rest, and an object in motion will stay in motion unless otherwise a force is applied. And that's what's happening right here. Now, the second law is essentially how we calculate force. So it comes down to the equation of force equals mass times acceleration. Now let's go ahead and get topped off here on suit power. Gosh, the survival kit is so slow. Okay, almost there, and there we are. Okay, so there's our object. So basically, second law says that if I apply a force to it, that force will then be translated in a straight line based on the direction from which that force was applied. Now that force being my if I go and run into this object, my body's mass times the acceleration in which I applied it will be translated into force against this object. Here we go. Well, that did not work. It's not registering. I understand now. It's not making that calculation. I wonder if it does that in the PC game. Let's back up. So here we have an object. Now if so I've got my, one of the other, we'll come back to that. Here I'm going to turn off my dampers. Okay. If I get out of ways, turn on my dampers, Where'd my little rock go? Ah, the rock is here. The game is not going to let me interact with the object in quite the same fashion. If I turn off my dampeners, that basically allows my body to observe the Newtonian physics. If I do this, then we should be able to see, yep, there it goes. And it ends up landing and staying here because it came within the gravity field. If the gravity field hadn't been there, if I turn the gravity field off, it should actually bounce. So let's see what happens. There, I've turned it off. Now there is no localized gravity. Now I'll come back out here again. I'll turn off my dampeners. Now, should see it come down. And oh, it really didn't have enough force to bounce off. And I'm kind of in a poor position to, here, maybe if I do this, yeah. So if I push off like this, oh, sorry. I need to turn off the dampeners. There. So it bounced off and it's still moving. So if I come over here, turn that back on, now it will finally rest on the surface of the asteroid. Okay, so that's essentially the second law of physics. And also the third law of physics, to a certain degree. Third law basically is the quintessential: for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Now, it's hard to see that actually being put in place because it's such a small massed object. We're only talking about 200 kilograms, which is by its own definition a lot, but is nothing in comparison to the size of this entire asteroid. There's another piece of game physics that's in play here that makes this asteroid actually not moving. And that's the concept between a ship and a station. If I were to somehow change the dynamics of this asteroid and say that it's actually a ship, and so would allow for movement, then there would be actually some amount of imperceptible impact of that 200 kilogram object hitting the surface of the asteroid. But what we did see was, or when the piece of rock actually hit the surface of the asteroid, it actually halted and redirected its force and made the moving object change its course. It hitting the surface of the asteroid incurred an equal and opposite reaction to the object itself that was moving and caused it to move laterally. The same thing could have been said for if I brought the object out this way. Here, I'll turn off my dampeners. I'll move forward as quickly as I can. And I missed it, didn't I? Because I was not. Oh, and we had the gravity on. So what happened to it? Did it completely bounce off? Here. Let's grab another one. There we go. Okay, so here we have a 300 kilogram object. And let me turn that off. So you can turn something off and on from their control panel. If you notice down at the very bottom of the menu, you'll see X can toggle on and off, whether you've actually navigated through this area or not. So here we've toggled the generator off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is try the glancing blow again and see if, turn the dampeners off. There we go. There you go. And now it's floating off into space. So that's essentially both the second and the third law exhibited here in the game. It's just a bit muddied because this asteroid is not acting like a free moving object. And that's another oddity inside of space engineers. The sun is essentially revolving around all the planets en masse. It's an odd way of building a game, but this is what worked for them. And it also keeps some of the calculations a bit simplified, and that improves some performance. So I'm sure that probably had a good bit to do with their choice. So I wanted to just cover that topic really as basic a way as possible without getting too far into scientific jargon or mathematical properties. So I hope you found that helpful. Getting some of these basic concepts down will definitely help you in orienting yourself within the game and understanding how things move. Regardless, if there are any other concepts that you need help with or would like me to demonstrate, please let me know in the comments below. If you like the video, please hit that like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like. I'll have more videos like these coming up soon. Thanks everyone, and stay safe.